Sorry, mine is recording. I just saw in my icon there, I'm recording.
Mine can
So
also
later,
record in cloud, that's all. So you
no,
get
I'm
two
recording
versions.
in my
Okay,
computer.
good, good.
Then I'll upload to YouTube.
Thank you.
So why don't we start right away? We are already 9
Dunstan,
p.m.
you are the one. You are the
Right.
man.
Yeah, okay. You want to start?
Sure.
Okay, a number of us are going to tell stories to speak, right?
Right.
And if we have time, then we do the chain story, which we can. It's very interesting. I think we tried it before, right? Let me start mine first, all right? You can see me, right?
Yes.
All right. The topic I'm going to talk about is the standard, the kind of a famous saying about journey of 1,000 miles. What does it say? Begins with the first step, right? Now let me start. In 1953, the New Zealander Edmund Hillary and a Nepalese shopper Tenzing Norgay, they were the first people to reach the summit of Mount Everest, which is the highest mountain in the world, right? And when somebody later on asked Edmund Hillary, why did he climb the mountain? And he answered somewhat cryptically, or rather amusingly. He said that I did it because the mountain is there. Now, even though Edmund Hillary reply sounds very flippant, but he did recognize that climbing Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world, is not a walk in the park. It is a long journey. It is like a journey of 1,000 miles. Now, if you recall, the Chinese sage Lao Tzu said, even the journey of 1,000 miles have to start with the first step. And of course, it's not just the first step, it's many, many steps. You want to take a long journey, there are many, many steps you've got to go through. And Edmund Hillary did exactly that. He didn't just climb Mount Everest just like that. He prepared. That's been the steps he took, right? The first thing he did is to build up his physical fitness. And he involved in activity which involved him carrying heavy loads over long distance in very difficult terrain. And this built up his strength and endurance. And then he participated in many mountaineering expeditions to give him the experience of going through difficult terrains. Right? And then he also took part in the expedition to acclimatize. What is the term?
Acclimatize.
Acclimatize himself to the altitude, because as you climb over, the oxygen is less, and therefore it will affect you. Some of us may suffer from what we call altitude sickness, right? But you have to acclimatize yourself to that. And finally, he also, because he knew that the journey to the top of the world is very, very difficult, and he has to try out different equipments. You have to be equipped with all oxygen tank, special clothes, all those things. He tried them all out, test them out. So these are the preparations. There are a few more, because these are the key preparation he undertook. Now, these are the steps he took before he able to venture into the journey of 1,000 miles. And he did that. He successfully reached the summit of Mount Everest in 1953. I think it was in May 29th, I think, he went up there. Why do I tell us this story? Now let's look at ourselves. We, the members of the storytelling or storytellers and writers club, we also have a Mount Everest. Right? Yes, there's a Mount Everest for Earth. But unlike Edmund Hillary, who when he was asked, why do you climb the mountain? He said, I climb because it's there. But for us, it's different. We climb the mountain. We want to reach the summit of our Mount Everest because there's something important. It represents something important for us as speakers and as communicators. Steve Jobs, I think it was shared by a team, isn't it? Steve Jobs said that the most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, the value, and the agenda of an entire generation that is to come. So Steve Jobs knew, even though he himself, he admit he's not a good storyteller, but he knew that storytelling is a very powerful tool. So for us, as speakers, as communicators, the Mount Everest for us is the acquisition of a skill as a storyteller. Because if we can get a skill of a storyteller, then we can deliver our message. Because all speeches is about message, you see. And let's look at this way. In history, of course, there are a lot. I mean, the most famous person you all know, who throughout his ministry told stories. That was Jesus Christ, right? Called the parable. For example, when Jesus Christ, you see, when you make a speech, the speech is all about message. That's the reason why we make a speech. We want to deliver a message. So Jesus Christ, throughout his 3 years of ministry, just told stories. These are the parables. For example, I mentioned with you guys one point when somebody asked Jesus, who are our neighbors? Because the teaching of Christianity is that we must love our neighbors. And somebody, who are neighbors? Instead of explaining who are neighbors, he told the story of the Good Samaritans. You heard of that before, right? And there are many other stories. So the 3 years of his ministry was all devoted to telling stories. They called the parables. Of course, one other person who's very famous about using story to deliver a message. Anybody know? His name is Aesop, right? You heard of Aesop fable. Every story of Aesop is about a message, right? So story, a very effective tool for us to deliver a message. Therefore, that makes us a good communicator and speaker. But having recognized that story is very important, we also need to learn how to tell it with style. And this is where our basic public speaking skill comes in. Our vocal variety, our body language, our eye contact, all those things comes in. Because it's not enough to just. So let me retract. Our first step is to look for stories which match our message. That will be our first step. See? The next step is then, having recognized the stories, having identified the stories, we got to learn how to tell them. And this is part of the reasons why we form a club like this. We learn how to tell our stories. The third thing is this. Having reached that point, you see, there are two purposes for us when we make a speech. One is to educate, right? To inform. That's why we use stories, right? The other one is to entertain. So at that point, we can become a storyteller purely for entertainment. For example, Elio has a club which is what is it called? Comedy club, right? Now, maybe they do want to deliver some message, but the main thing is they want to entertain. Now, story is also a form of entertainment. In fact, a very important form of entertainment. So that is the third step which we go to. Having recognized The first step we learn to identify story which match our message. The next is to learn how to tell those stories effectively. Then after that, we can venture into become a storyteller ourselves. In fact, there are some stories not necessarily have a message. They're just entertainment basis. For example, I can think of the Arabian Nights, for example. It means Sinbad the Sailor, for example. I'm not sure what are the messages, but it's quite interesting. His adventure was very interesting. See? So that is the third stage for us in this club, is we want to learn how to tell stories, which need not necessarily be used to deliver as much, but to entertain people. Finally, if you really go that far, we want to learn how to write stories. And I remember in the previous meeting, some people were saying, oh, a good story must have conflict, must resolution, and all these things. Yes, that is the writing of the stories. That's this is not something we take existing story, we create a new story. So this is what I call, in fact, there's a workshop which we run called the 8 key elements in the fiction writing. So we write a story, but there's like 8 key elements, but I won't deal with that, but that is a workshop in itself. Now, I will ask the question, how do we develop all these skills to reach our Mount Everest? Do you know what's the answer? Anybody? Hello?
Practice.
Huh?
Practice.
Yes. The answer is very simple. Attend all the club meetings. Attend all the story and writers club meeting and be active. In other words, seize the opportunity which the meeting offers you to speak, if possible, every meeting, because we learn by doing. We learn by doing. So now let us continue with our journey of the 10,000 1,000 miles. All right. And let's take each step to perfect our art. Back to you. Who is the meeting leader here?
Heta, I think you were the meeting leader. I think
Okay.
Heta continues.
So that's all.
How it all began.
I am going to tell you a story that is actually the story of the people that is concerned, the only surviving people after the last ice age.
Mm-hmm.
But I have taken a story from them. It is bright. It is light. It shines. It glitters. It gurgles. Wonderful fluid water. The most precious thing on earth. Without it, nothing can live. Nothing can grow. In a semi-desert country, water is so precious to the people who depend on it that it can assume divine properties. Now, the Sun people, also called the Bushmen, to them, water is so wonderful that they call it the ancient life. It's a source of life. And their legendary hero called a mantis appeared at the beginning of the world when the whole earth was covered in water. The baby mantis was carried over the turbulent, dark waters by a honeybee, the symbol of wisdom. The poor bee became wearier and colder as it looked for a piece of solid ground, which doesn't exist. Eventually, it started going lower and lower until it drifted on the water, keeping Mantis just safe above the water. But then he saw a great white flower, half open, waiting for the rising sun. And he placed Mantis into the heart of that flower and planted the seed into Mantis. Then the bee died. As the sun rose and the flower warmed up, Mantis awoke, and the first human being was born. Mantis brought people life. But apart from that, Mantis also brought them fire. Before that, they had to eat their food raw, just as they killed it, just like a lion and a leopard. They slept in cold, dark shelters without a bright light that can brighten the long, dark hours. But Mantis noticed that whenever Ostrich had something to eat, his food smelled so different and delicious. He had to make a plan. One day, he crept nearer when Ostrich was about to eat and saw Ostrich lift his wing and take fowl stealthily out of under his wing and dip his food into the fire and then tucked it back in under his wing again. Mantis knew that Ostrich will never give him a piece of that fire. So he made a clever plan. He went to visit the Ostrich. "Come, Ostrich," he said. "I have discovered a tree full of beautiful, ripe yellow plums." Ostrich was so delighted that he rushed to the tree and started gorging himself with the nearest fruit. "No!" shouted and he said, "You must go higher, higher. The best ones are there." Now, you know, an ostrich is very stupid. It has a very small brain, but it stood on tiptoe and spread its wings to balance itself. And Mantis grabbed the fire from under his wing and ran away. The ostrich was so ashamed that from then on he never tried to fly again, and he kept his wings tight to his body. They are so stupid that even the female ostrich makes a nest on the ground and then lays 30 to 50 big, shiny, white eggs that doesn't break easily. But while she's sitting on the nest to breed, she takes one egg out and puts it next to the nest so that she and her husband can remember that they have eggs to breed on. The sun people tell us many stories. And according to research, the only people that survived after the last ice age were the Sun people. Because only in the south of Africa and the west coast up, there was no ice. And they found that all the people in the world that they tested with DNA carries the K chromosome of the X chromosome of the Sun man whose skull was found in a cave in Cape Town. It is strange that some of the descendants of the Sun have begun acting like the Sun, acting like mantis, and many took the form of the ostrich. They, because of their long necks, they thought they could look down on all the rest. And they, under their wings, they gathered all the wealth and were very satisfied. But they forgot that when danger comes, they put their heads in a hole, because when they can't see the danger, they think they cannot feel it. But if they spread their wings to gather more, it will all fall out. And the mantises who kept their eyes on the ground found all the gold. So I beg you, don't be an ostrich, be a mantis.
Thank you so much, Heta. What a wonderful story. Now, next on the line is Ban Ping. Title, How the Future Began. Ban Ping, How the Future Began. Oh, by the way, before I move on, Mike, can you be the evaluator of sort? You will be in charge of giving back some feedback to some of us, if you can remember. All right. I hope I made that clear. Somebody has got to give us some feedback. All right. So you are the one who's going to take the lead. So, Ban Ping, to you, how the future began. Ban Ping.
Thank you, Tim.
Team, before Ben
Yeah.
Peng starts, I must say it's a wonderful storytelling by Heta. You know, her articulation and creating so that the scene which we can see, you know, visually, which is amazing, amazing. And her gestures, so appropriate. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
She's seen a lot of ostriches. We don't see much of that, so we wouldn't know how to do it.
yeah, maybe
They're
we'll
all
have some quick
begging now.
evaluation before we move. Yeah. Anybody else? Kim, you have an opinion on Heta?
No comment.
No comment. Okay, well, then we move on to Ban Ping then. No
Yeah,
comments from me either. Ban Ping, how did
Thank
it all
you.
begin?
How the future
Oh,
began.
yeah, how the future began.
About 3,000 years ago, there was a man in China. His name is Confucius. Have you heard of this name, Confucius? Good. He is the wisest man, many people say, ever. Right? He was, in fact, honored with the title, the Sage of China. The sage, the wise man of China. And about 200 years after him came along a child by the name of Mencius. Mencius is a Western name. The Chinese, they call Mengzi, right? So Mencius, for the English-speaking world. His father, unfortunately, passed away when he was very young. And they are not from the wealthy family. So the mother has to sew and weave to support this baby Mencius and herself. Okay. Now, they live near a cemetery. And young Mencius play in the environment. And with his friends, they mimic how to conduct funeral rites. They mimic how to mourn the dead. They mimic how to do the funeral rites, like the joss stick, burn the incense paper, the way Chinese funerals are, if you have seen, right? How to dress like the mourners, how to bow and pray. And the mother felt this is not the right place for the child. So they moved. Where did they move to? They moved to a home that was near the market. And soon, Mencius were playing with the neighborhood kids. They were mimicking the merchants, the stallholders, haggling the prices, weighing the goods, packaging the stuff. And what traders do? So they run around pretending to be traders and spend their time as if they were going to be merchants in the market. And Mencius' mother felt, oh, this is not the best place for my son. So she moved again. This time, they moved to a place near a school. And Mencius observed the students, the scholars walking in and out, carrying their books, the way they sit, the way they talk, the way they read their books, the way they write. Mencius copied them. These are the model for him. Soon, he has evolved into a different person. All the coarse language used by the funeral people and the rough language used by the hagglers or merchants in the market is no more. He became a refined young gentleman. And then he enrolled in the school as he grew up. And he became a scholar. In fact, he did very well. He studied under one of the great grandson of Confucius. And he became so good that people seek his advice. And eventually, he was honored as the second sage of China. So he was that good, yeah. Now, young people, in fact, children from Chinese family, these are one of the first few stories we hear, right? And when young people, when parents, Chinese parents, tell these stories to the children, it has one effect. It creates the future. Why I say that? You will notice Chinese families pay a lot of attention to selecting the home, the location of the home. It means a lot to them. Where you live, as Lee Kuan Yew say, geography is destiny, right? So where you live is where the future begins. And that is my story for today. For you to take home this, geography is destiny. And that's where the future begins. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Ban Ping. Any quick evaluations or feedback for Ban Ping? If not, then I move on to
Can I just say something
Yeah, Dunstan.
in relation to both speakers just now? I personally also feel it that you notice that when I, for myself, a kind of self-evaluation of myself, self-critique is that I noticed that when Heta and Ban Peng use the storytelling mode, that's when they're telling a story, they're relaxed, and I feel relaxed. But when I was telling not a story, I was just trying to give a speech, I find that it is kind of very constrained, because I keep on thinking of linking what I was saying to what I want the delivery message. Whereas both Heta and Van Peng, they just tell the story. It was very smooth. And I think this is the demonstration of the beauty of storytelling, is that you feel relaxed. I feel relaxed when I listen to them. When I listen to myself, I feel I was not relaxed. So this is what we're trying to learn, right? To use story to give our speech, then we feel much more relaxed. Thank you, Van Peng.
Now, there is another thing to what Dunstan just said. They call it unpolish your speech. Unpolish your speech means that you practice so much, and when you actually deliver, it appears impromptu. It's so that's the professional level, like you call them up anytime they give the speech, it looks very impromptu, but in fact, a lot of practice has gone into that. And Benpeng, regarding your speech, I think the title is so enticing. It's an oxymoron. The future begins. It's that is really good. And I love the story. I love the story, the way you said it. But a little more expressive would add further punch to the speech. Yeah.
Thank you, Rajesh.
I also think that that's a very good story. The lesson in it is very good because my mother used to say we were quite poor, but she always said, look, that we lived in a good neighborhood where people were well disciplined and clean. So we came into contact with people that smoke and do bad things. So I think that is a very good thing, and that is why I think if I look at the Chinese schools, nursery schools, we are amazed at the children because they're so well behaved and so perhaps if more people will follow the old ways, perhaps we can. And if I can say something with what Dancer said, that it looked natural. I don't. It's something that you can learn, but I think I become so involved in a story that I live inside my story. I can almost touch mantis and touch the ostrich because I become so part of my story that I cannot look at notes. I cannot. And if I forget something, I just put in whatever comes in because I'm part of the story. And I think if I could tell people in a speech and in a story, you have to come inside your story, and it mustn't be something separate from it.
Yeah. I think that's why we call internalize the story. And I promised to run a kind of 2 separate workshops on storytelling. Just the second part is how to be a storyteller. That's why I used to give the example of some of us who come from a culture, I think in Africa, so we have that. We call it the shamanic journey. The shaman, right? The so-called witch doctor, whatever it is. When he's telling the story, in fact, he's not telling, he is inside the story. Now, a good storyteller is also not telling a story. He's putting out his hand and said, look, I'm going on this journey. Join me in this journey. That is the mindset of the storyteller. He's not saying, I'm telling the story. He said, look, I'm going on this shamanic journey, right? And here, let's go together. And that's exactly what you're saying. You can internalize the thing. That it's no longer I'm telling you a story. We are together traveling in that story. But anyway, that is something else. We can deal with that at some point.
I think we were privileged because we are old. You and I, we are old. In our days when we were young, there were not many books there were not so many books. Black people didn't have any written language in my country. We sat with the old men round the fire and we listened to their stories, telling them, and we saw them get excited. And so I think, so we were engaged in their stories because they engaged us in their stories. We didn't have an internet, we didn't have a video that we could just sit back and stare. We had to be involved, otherwise we would not have been able to listen to the story. I think it is a privilege we had because we're old.
Who's next?
Thank you, Heta. I think we really have to move on because otherwise we'll keep Kim in suspense because she has to give the next delivery presentation. And the title of her presentation is My Life Journey. My Life Journey. Kim.
My life journey. Okay.
Yes, Kim. Over to you, Kim.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to tell about my life journey, starting from my childhood to adult life, and also my aspiration.
Mm.
Yeah, I come from a family of 6. I'm the number 5. So my mom is strict and has traditional belief that children should be seen and not heard. So we are supposed to be very obedient and follow instruction. I'm one of them, and I am the favorable child of all because I didn't cause any problem. Being the youngest girl, I was given the easiest household chore, which is the simplest, sweeping the floor. And I was exempted from going door to door to sell onde-onde. I don't know, do you know what is onde-onde? Onde-onde is a round ball that is made of glutinous rice flour and with pandan juice coloring, and inside there is a bola maraca and it's coated with white coconut. So my sibling need to go from door to door, from the highest floor to the lowest floor to sell the onde-onde. So my sibling was jealous of me because I'm good for nothing. I just sit at home. So when I was young, I didn't go for nursery or kindergarten. So I straight away go to primary 1. So being the one that without any knowledge of ABCD, I just remain quiet and sit there, just a hearer. And I remember an incident when I needed to go to the toilet and I do not know how to tell the teacher. Neither do I know how to raise my hand. So you know what do? I just pee on the table, on the chair. And poor mom had to bring a new set of uniform all the way from home to me. That was the most embarrassing event in my life. And every day during recess, my mom will carry a tingkat and bring it to the recess to wait for me and make sure that I eat my food and till the bell ring. And my study wasn't good. I failed with red marks. And wasn't cane because I study, but I still cannot pass. So I'm being exempted. It's okay. But my brother was being caned. Was chained out and caned for failing his PSLE. Because he's always playing with friends. During my teenager life, I went out with my friends to church a number of times. When I came home, one day when I came home, my mom bring me in and lock me up in the room and cane me. Because I go to church, because they are very stern Buddhists. So that was a very unforgettable event in my life. On my first job, I started off with a 5-day work. I would tell my mom that it's a 6-day work. So as usual, I go to work. But instead of going to work, I went with my friend to East Coast to ride bicycle. After many years of numerous months of riding bicycle, I finally know the technique of riding bike. Telling lies do have its advantage. None of my siblings know how to ride bicycle except me. After I got married, I was able to attend church freely. This is my heart desire. And because I have 3 children, I was a homemaker for many years, taking care of them. When they have grown up, I have more freedom to do the things that I love. That's where I try different type of job. I started off in the childcare as an assistant teacher. And from there, I enrolled myself to take up a diploma in early childhood education. And I was promoted to be a teacher in the childcare. Then I also tried in the senior daycare, as well as the nursing home as a therapy assistant. So I enjoy different type of job because it gives me different experience. In my adult life, I pick up swimming. Also, after numerous lessons and classes, and finally, I pick up swimming. Swimming became my hobby, as I longed to learn it when I was young. Last year, I picked up table tennis. Not an expert, but I was able to play comfortably with the seniors. Currently, I'm a caregiver to my mom, bringing her to the numerous doctor's appointments. My goal in life, it is my desire able to express myself, and I thank you, Bumping, for putting me in the Toastmaster Club. That's where I can pick up. I want to live life to the fuller, to be a contributor rather than a receiver, and enjoy life to the fullest. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for preparing your speech for us. One startling thing about your speech is we already know that your title is My Life's Journey. The first 10 seconds is the time when you capture your audience attention. I would have thought you go, would you like to know my most embarrassing moment? Hands up, those who are interested to know my most embarrassing moment. Then you move on. One of the things that the storytellers don't really tell people is, I'm going to tell you a story. Of course you're telling us a story. That's what we're here for, right? So that's the most startling thing that strikes me in a newbie storyteller. But of course, you are a newbie storyteller. All right. Now it's my turn, and I have 2 versions of this title you already know. I'll give my version first. All right. The year is 1969. A hush falls over Mission Control at Houston as the world watches on grainy television screens. And it's Apollo 11. A gleaming silver bird has landed on the moon. Inside, Neil Armstrong, who's the commander of the mission, prepares to make history. He climbs down the ladders, his heart pounding in his chest. The lunar surface, a stark contrast to the familiar Earth, stretches out beyond him. Desolate landscape of grey dust and craters. With each cautious step, he feels the weight of humanity's collective hopes and dreams. Finally, he reaches the bottom, his foot hovering inches above the ground. Then with a deep breath, he plants his boot firmly into the lunar soil. And that's one small step for man, he radios back to Earth. His voice slightly muffled by his helmet. But one giant leap for mankind. The words, simple yet profound, echoed across the globe. In that single step, Armstrong transcends the boundaries of human limitations, pushing the frontiers of exploration and igniting the imagination of millions. The landing of Apollo 11 marks a turning point in human history. It symbolizes our relentless pursuit of knowledge, our unwavering spirit of adventure, and our boundless capacity to dream big and achieve the seemingly impossible. My second version. Hey Google, in no more than 600 words, tell me the story of one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The year was 1969, a time of great change and hope. The Cold War was in full swing, and the United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a fierce competition for technological and scientific supremacy. This competition fueled the space race, a contest to see who could be the first to achieve significant milestones in space exploration. In the midst of this rivalry, President John F. Kennedy declared in 1961 that the United States would land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth before the end of the decade. This ambitious goal ignited the imagination of a nation and galvanized the efforts of thousands of scientists, engineers, and technicians. The culmination of this monumental effort came on July 20th, 1969, with the historic landing of Apollo 11 on the lunar surface. Astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first humans to set foot on another celestial body, while Michael Collins piloted the command module in lunar orbit. As Armstrong descended the ladder of the lunar module, he uttered the immortal words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." These words captured the profound significance of this achievement, not just for the United States, but for all of humanity. The moon landing was a triumph of human ingenuity and perseverance. It demonstrated the power of science and technology to achieve seemingly impossible feats. It inspired a generation of young people to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And it served as a powerful symbol of hope and unity in a world often divided by conflict. The legacy of the moon landing continues to this day. It has paved the way for future space exploration missions, including the International Space Station and the ongoing efforts to send humans to Mars. It has also inspired countless works of art, literature, and music. The moon landing was a defining moment in human history, a testament to the boundless potential of the human spirit. It was a small step for one man, but a giant leap for all of mankind.
Heta, a question for you. What do you think? Man or AI?
AI is better.
You're muted, Heta.
Is it?
Heta, you're muted. Oh no, unmute. I've asked her to unmute.
Heta, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, sorry I unmute you earlier.
She's giving a speech. Being muted.
Yeah, she didn't know she's muted.
She's so engrossed in it. She's so engrossed.
Passionate about what she thinks.
Now, who's the host? Can you
Sorry.
unmute?
I say I am appalled by the monotonous voices of AI. In all the stories that I've ever heard, that monotonous voice will drive me nuts. So I'm not interested in AI stories, and I will immediately hear if somebody tells me and gives me a speech that was written by AI.
Okay, anybody else has an opinion on this? Two speeches, same title.
I prefer the AI.
Huh?
The substance is there. They managed to get the research materials. That's the thing that
Yeah, I think it comes to connecting with the audience and, what comes from the heart touches the heart. I think the emotional coefficient is missing within the AI. It's
Mm.
more information than inspiration or persuasion.
Mm.
I prefer to listen to Kim's speech.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Kim is the best.
So, I mean, the AI speech is just kind of AI speech, there's no humanity in it. And, so perhaps this is one of the saying that who was saying something about the imperfection of human, the spirituality of imperfection. Okay. Oh, yeah. One day I'll tell you the story about the humanity of imperfection of my story in Istanbul. I'll talk about that one in the next meeting.
Okay, let's move on. Um, uh, Raju has a speech to deliver. The title of his speech is Raju. You're already unmuted. Okay, good.
It's
Your
my turn to
title
speak
is
now.
PDC. I don't know what that means, so he'll explain to you what PDC means. Raju, over to you.
Yeah. Just 1 second, I'll time myself. Just 1 second.
A suggestion for future speakers: if you wish to time yourself, if you go to the top row, you will see some digits moving. Now there's an arrow key. Click on it, then you can time yourself for future.
At
Where
the
is
top, is it? At the top.
Yeah, at the top. PDC.
Yeah, okay. I will stick to my thing. Okay.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
The real you, is it what you think about yourself or what others think about you? The you in you can be changed to a different you. Do you know the real you? I sometimes marvel how much things we all of us have in common. We all belong to the same race. We share the same emotions. We have this ambition of being someone unique or different from others. How many of you remember your teenage days? Fantastic, right? Parents stressed. Sounds familiar? College approaching. Grades nowhere. My parents had high expectations about me. They tried everything from cajoling to bribing, from tutoring to mentoring, from pleading to threatening. Nothing really worked. On this day, when I seen tears on my mother's eyes, it changed everything. I decided to work hard. I slept less. I spoke even less than before. When the results came in, I came in second from bottom. I was dejected but determined at the same time. I started reading all the self help books. And then I gave up watching TV, social media, and even sports, which I loved the most. This time, when the results came in, I was 15th rank out of 15 people. I started getting some self doubts about myself. Is everything normal with me? Am I capable of doing it? I see myself as someone who is nobody, useless, and worthless. It was like there was a hole in my heart and emptiness inside me. I felt that I was in deep dungeons. Looking at my state, my dad said, "Son, will you do something which will transform you? Anything, please." he joined me to an institute called Art of Living. For me, that was like art of dying. The teacher said, if you want to know the real you, you have to go to three most important nations. For me, I didn't go anywhere outside India, so I didn't know about anything. He said the second clue is it is PDC, passion, dispassion, and compassion. Wow, wow. English, please. Have passion in everything that you do. Have dispassion towards any negative thoughts or feelings, and show compassion for people around you. My reaction? I had a dispassion towards his comments. We sat down for our first class of meditation. He asked everyone to close their eyes. For me, I slept like a baby. And my dad asked me, how come you look so fresh? Of course, anyone after sleep will always look fresh. Now, on the fourth class, I made a cardinal sin of when I sat down for meditation, really upset the teacher so much, he called my dad and told me about it. I thought, today I'm going to see stars in daylight. As I gingerly walked inside the house, surprisingly, my dad said, son, it's okay, but I want you to attend all the classes. In the sixth class, surprise, surprise, I did not sleep. And after the session, I started seeing a different me, someone who is calm, cool, and composed. I thought I was introspecting within myself. We spent years building relationship with people, decades to decode our spouses, and lifelong to understand our children. Why can't we spend just a few minutes with ourselves? As the practice continued, that different me has become me. And I found my real you, which is love, passion, dispassion, and compassion. And that has transformed me. All the while I was searching outside for solutions without realizing it's all there within me. And that brought about the transformation. From a school dropout, I cleared my chartered accountancy in the first attempt itself. My load got lighter, my world brighter, and in life I can only be a lover and not a fighter. Is it not the world we actually deserve? No one can sing your song. No one can dance your dance. No one can give the speech in the way you do it. And the main difference is finding the real you. That is when you achieve your true potential. Visit the three most important nations: patience, dispassion, and compassion. Now, the question I would like to ask all of you is, do you know the real you? What do you think?
Thank you so much, Raju. Sounds like it's coming from an experienced mouth. Very good. Anybody else has feedback for Raju? If not, then
Yeah.
I'll move on.
I
Sorry.
want to thank Raju for his excellent delivery. I think he crafted the speech very well structured. And not only that, it's peppered with a lot of good phrases. Even the passion, dispassion, compassion is just rhyme. A lot of stuff is if you watch the text, if you read the text of the script, you'll see a lot of wonderful words and phrases string together very neatly, very beautifully. I must thank you for that. And the message, of course, is very important that now we are at this stage of life where who are we, right? What is the meaning and purpose of our life? You start thinking about that. So you come at the right time. Hopefully, I don't fall asleep when I meditate also. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure Raju has spent a lot of time preparing for this
I
particular
also
speech.
I
Well
watched
prepared. Yeah,
especially for your
better.
hand movements, and they were done exactly right. They were not too far forward. They were all along your body. So yeah, they're fun.
Vocal variety is amazing as well. That's why I say he spent a lot of time practicing. Right, if we have limited time, we can give 10 minutes for evaluation further from our mic. Meanwhile, we have one more speaker from Ilos. Title is The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and E.T.'s Therapy Bill. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and E.T.'s Therapy Bill. Over to you, Ilyas.
Okay, before I start, am I audible and visible? Give me a reaction. Okay, I'll start.
There is some sound coming in the background. I don't know from
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Oh, you hear some sound?
There's some.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Now?
have a fan that is resting at the same table.
Oh, now can?
No,
It's
there's
still
still
there.
the
Now
sound.
better?
No, it's still there.
It's still here. The
Maybe
fan.
you change your microphone to
Okay, better.
The fan. I turn off my fan. Is it now clear?
I think you got two fans.
never mind.
Okay, much
This
better.
is good. This is good.
Yeah.
This one
Oh,
good?
it's back.
Okay.
It's back.
Never mind. Carry on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't have any fan anymore. Okay, now can?
Yeah, please proceed.
Okay, I proceed. Hi, good evening everybody. I hope you are ready for the greatest hits and misses of 2024. The year was like a box of assorted chocolates. Some bites were sweet, some were weirdly bitter. And then there was that one piece that tastes suspiciously like a therapy session. I owed eating. Let's break it down. The good, the bad, the ugly. And why my bank account keeps texting me. Are you okay, Leos? March 2024 was the start of something big, or at least it was marketed that way. I held a 90-minute workshop titled Branding Your Business, where vision meets victory. Sounds fancy, right? But halfway through, I realized the real branding going on was me convincing the audience I wasn't running out of steam. Boom! By the Q&A, someone asked, what is the first step to branding success? I said, make sure your coffee is as strong as your logo. Because trust me, without caffeine, your vision will meet defeat faster than you can say epic ads. Branding is all about standing out in the crowd, right? That's why I give my clients the best advice. Label yourself before someone else does. Like, would you rather call yourself a bold innovator? Or wait for your nosy owl to brand you, the one who still doesn't have a real job? Ugh. Take control, people. Take control. But you know what? No one tells you about branding. It's not just about your logo or tagline. It's about staying calm when things go off brand. I remember during the workshop, the projector stopped working mid-slide. Panic? Oh no, yes, of course. I calmly said, and here's where we practice minimalism. A guy in the back muttered, that's not branding, that's just poor planning. Touche, sir, touche. Here's the thing about branding, it's like dating. You are constantly trying to make a great first impression, hoping no one sees the chaos underneath. You spend hours perfecting your brand's about me page, but when someone asks you to describe it in person, you go blank. We do things professionally. You sound like a robot running out of battery. And don't even get me started on slogans. My slogan was, where vision meets victory. But my assistant suggested, where vision meets reality. Sometimes. Honest branding, right? At least my honesty gets points. So March 2024 wasn't just about branding businesses. It was about branding myself as someone who could turn even a tech failure into creative minimalism. Now that's a good branding, right? And April 2024 was about my Toastmasters journey. Yes, a 60-minute roller coaster of self-improvement and self-doubt. Toastmasters is where you learn the art of public speaking, or I like to call it how to survive a room full of strangers pretending they are not judging you. You are at Toastmasters when people applaud when you forget your speech. It's the safest place to fail. Also, I thought until someone said, that was a great speech. I just wish I understood it. Oh. The first thing Toastmasters teach you is the importance of an opening line. My coach told me, you need to hook them right away. So I woke up, smiled, and said, I have prepared a great speech for you today. But first, does anyone have a spare speech I can borrow? That got a laugh until they realized I wasn't joking. Yes, Tim, borrow me a speech, please. Then came the table topic session, where you have to give an impromptu speech on a random topic. My topic, the benefits of eating vegetables. Let me tell you, it's hard to sound convincing about broccoli when the only thing you know about it is how to avoid it. I panicked and I said, vegetables are great because they are green, like money. Everyone nodded politely, but I could see their thoughts. Someone give this a guy a salad and a clue. And by June, I was ready for the vocal variety workshop. Also, I thought vocal variety is about using your voice to captivate an audience. Apparently, my default setting is monotone with occasionally panic. My coach said, you need to make your voice dance. Dance? My voice doesn't dance. It shuffles awkwardly in the corner, hoping no one notices. And yes, we practiced volume, pitch, and tone. My favorite was pitch. My coach asked me to hit a high note to express excitement. I tried, but it came out like a broken whistle. She says, that's not excitement, that's a cry for help. Help! And then there is volume. I thought I was too quiet, so I practiced projecting it. By the end, I was shouting so loud till the janitor came in and asked if everything was okay. I said, yes. I'm just learning to captivate an audience. He replied, well, you have captivated the building. In June, I also recorded an 80-minute podcast. Have you ever tried talking non-stop for 80 minutes? It's like running a marathon but with words. And no one to hand you water halfway through. By minute 40, I was running out of things to say. By minute 60, I was interviewing myself. So, Ilyas, what inspires you? Great question, me. Probably my exhaustion. And by minute 75, I was just making random noises, like what you have heard before, fan noise, to see if anyone was still listening. And podcasts are funny because they make you feel like a philosopher. But in reality, you are just sitting alone in a room, hoping someone in the future thinks you sound smart. My friend asks, how do you know if your podcast is successful? I said, when strangers listen to it and don't sue me for wasting their time. November rolled around and I was back to podcasting. This time, a 45-minute session with 10 minutes of Q&A. You would think I will be a pro by now. But no. During the Q&A, someone asked, how do you prepare your podcast? I froze and burnt out. I Google stuff. Not my proudest moment, but one guy raised his hand and said, "That's not preparation, that's procrastination with Wi-Fi." He wasn't wrong. Then there is the magic of stand-up comedy in November. Stand-up comedy is like Toastmasters on steroids. It's not just about speaking. It's about being funny while speaking. Just like juggling while riding a unicycle on a tightrope with no safety net. My first joke was about how my podcast doubled as free therapy. The crowd laughed. Then I said, except I'm still waiting for my therapist to subscribe. Dead silence like now. Dead silence. I panicked and I added, "It's okay." My mom unsubscribed too. And that's saved it. Rule of comedy, self-deprecation always works. Because at least you know you are laughing. Toastmasters and comedy taught me that public speaking is an art, a science, and sometimes an extreme sport. It's about finding your voice, even if that voice cracks, shouts, or occasionally makes people think you need medical attention. Well, looking back, April to November 2024 was all about learning to laugh at myself. Because if you can laugh at yourself, you will never run out of material. And trust me, with my voice and my podcasting skill, I have got plenty of material. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you for observing the time. You don't have much left. Only about 3 or 4 minutes. Oh, wow. So quiet now. Shona, yes, you clapped. You can speak for a short while. The last speaker will be Mike, of course. Doreen, you'll be next. Tell us what you think about today's meeting. Please unmute yourself,
This is my
Shona.
first time attending the meeting.
Oh, yeah, that's why we want your opinion. No, we love to hear what you think of our meeting today.
I have to thank Mum Ping for inviting me to this meeting. Although I am quite tired at this hour.
Me too.
I
Would
say
you
something
return?
about
Would
the
you return?
previous
Yeah.
speech.
Okay.
Can I say something about
Sure.
Elios's speech?
Yeah, Heta, go ahead.
Elios, I don't know why your writing is still in front of you because it really takes away your face. But unfortunately, I heard very little of your speech because you speak far too fast. You speak so fast that half of your sentence is lost to the audience. That is my first thing. So I didn't really know even what your speech was about because I heard here and there because it was just too fast. The pace is too fast. There's no regulation of pace, right? And I was waiting for some pauses or something that makes you stop a little bit. Your voice, when I heard your real voice, it was a wonderful male melodious voice, but you use it high all the time that you speak. It's about an octave, half an octave too high. So you understand that? So that takes away from your speech, and you are very aware of you. You must have been to Toastmasters because your hand movements. You are so aware of your hand movements that you go. I was watching and later when does this one come, and then when does that one come, and when does this one come, and when does that one come, and then you don't listen. You listen to the repetitiveness, so you have to be aware of that. And if somebody hasn't got the guts to tell you, and most people aren't, but I'm very straightforward. I want to listen to you because I hear a voice that's very nice that you don't use. And I see passion and I see excitement, but I lose it because you go so fast that I don't hear what you're saying. And too high pitched. I'm sorry. but it's a little bit of the Toastmasters drama that has come across in the last few years. That I think is packed into many of the ways that people talk now when you also join Toastmasters. Sorry, but I think you have all the potential to be a brilliant speaker, but somebody has made you use too high and too many repetitive movements, especially on a street. You cannot do that.
I think Heta has this thing about Toastmasters. No, I just want to make a point here. I think sometimes we are unconsciously falling into the trap, in the sense that I think the mindset of a speaker is very important. Now, if you consciously think that you're going to make a speech, that's what your Heta is talking about. You say, oh, I'm going to make a speech. Therefore, I'm going to do this, going to do that. You know, I'm making a speech. Eh? Whereas there is another school of thought, in fact, which is what we call public speaking is in fact extended conversation. Yeah. So when you talk to somebody, you are interested in them, not saying, I'm going to make a speech. One day there was a man who coming there, you know, you're conscious of wanting to make a speech. And this has always been a challenge all the time, that because we grow up in an environment where they make public speaking a competitive sport. Yeah. Public speaking is meant to be a communicative activity. So because it's a competitive sport, you want to outshine the other guys. So whatever, I mean, in English has a word called histrionic, you know, that kind of over you. So maybe we have to tune down, saying that I want to talk to you guys with all the flaws. You know, sometimes we make mistakes, not perfect. It's okay. And that one is when you touch somebody. That's why I think who wrote that many people want to communicate, but very few connect. Right? I think I forgot one of the writers has written about it, and that is something which we have to be careful not to fall into. And since you are in a comedy club, I think some of the funniest comedian is that they make mistakes, you know. And that's what makes them endearing, rather than they're going on stage and when they perform. No, you're not performing, you're communicating with us. And I think that's what Heta was getting up about. It's a big challenge, I know, but is that it's something we have to learn all the time. Communicate, connect. We should feel that you are talking to us over a cup of coffee, not standing on the platform and making 4 scores and whatever years before, blah, 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 you know. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're learning. Okay, that's my take on it.
Yeah, no, on Zoom you have to look at your camera. My camera is there. It's not at the bottom, so I have to look there when I speak to you. Otherwise, it doesn't look as if I'm talking to you. If I look there, you can't see me talking to you. Can you see the difference? I'm now not looking at my camera. I'm looking at you. Then I look like this. If I look at my camera, that's what I look at. Then you at least can see that I'm talking to you. And people forget that when we're on Zoom.
Tim,
thank you for the reminder. Thank you for the reminder. Last but not least, I think it's Mike's turn. I have something to add too on Elios, but I think he will do it after we've already passed 90 minutes. So Zoom master, without him, we wouldn't have this meeting. We wouldn't be co-hosts. Mike, are you still there? Yeah, before he turned up, we were discussing how we can shift our days. Monday apparently is not so suitable for Heta, and we need her very much. So we started with Wednesday, but Mike says, no, I'm tied up on Wednesday. We don't have Zoom time.
Can we suggest any day?
Thursday, Friday. Only Monday is impossible to me.
Yep, Thursday is fine with me. Mike has got to respond. has to respond. Maybe we'll
He's
just
not
wait
there.
here. Oh, maybe he's not there now.
Is there anybody who has a Zoom account?
I do.
Why don't we discuss it on the WhatsApp group?
Yeah.
Why don't we
I
put it
do
on the
have a
WhatsApp
Zoom
group
account, no
and let
issue.
Maybe
everybody?
you can be
It gives the times when
the
suits
host.
them best.
Yeah,
And
Are
I
then
you
can
they
set
can.
up,
available
no
Thursday?
issue. I can set up for every Thursday.
Same 9 o'clock?
Is
Yeah,
Thursday
sure.
good? You guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just before my
Jot
bedtime.
down.
Thursday is all right for me.
Yep. Fine for me. Shona hasn't spoken so far. Would you like
Shona,
to contribute? Shona?
where are you from?
Mm.
You're from India, right? Oh,
Yes,
it's Singapore. Huh?
I'm from India, but been in Singapore
Okay.
for a while and now living in UK.
Okay.
So this is my first time joining you here.
So can
in this,
we kind of what they call this
Tell us the
allocate
story
you
of
as
your
the
life.
first speaker for the next meeting, which is Thursday, isn't
May
it?
this
Next
Thursday?
Thursday is next Thursday, right?
What date
Not
is that? Sorry.
Thursday. Not this Thursday,
Yeah,
the next week Thursday.
Thursday. What day will that be? The
Thursday.
date. Sorry.
What date?
23rd, I think, 23rd.
30th.
No.
No.
30th, according to my calendar.
Yes, I
Thursday.
think maybe after the 5th, on any date after that, I think I will be most likely to be able to.
Okay.
By the way, for the Chinese, it's Lunar New Year,
because
second day. I'm traveling.
30th is Chinese New Year, is it?
30th.
29 is first day of Chinese New Year. 30th is second day.
Okay, yeah, because
So it'll
I
be
have
next month, February.
my
February
New
6th.
Year's dinner.
February 6th, is it?
February
Yeah.
6th. Yeah, will be fine.
Okay.
February
I'm
6th?
not sure if I will be able to be here. I might be in Beaufort West because my son is coming from Germany to visit, and I'm going with him to my daughter. So, but I'll try. So it's a Thursday, the 6th of February.
Yep, that's right.
Anyway, Ban Peng,
But
you
if
give
I'm-
the
But I'll let
notice.
you know on WhatsApp if I cannot make it.
Is Ban Peng
Okay.
going to give us the notice?
I will send you the link. It will be set to every Thursday. On the 6th, I actually have to attend a dinner, but I can set you can just come in. Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can just come in and use
Co-host
the
like what
Zoom.
Mike did today.
Yeah, no issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even I'm not around, you can just log in and do your thing.
Can I just confirm, is it a weekly meeting or a monthly meeting?
Weekly.
Oh, weekly, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Doreen,
can't
you
stop
wait. We are going to
speaking
be daily meetings soon.
because
Can we
we
hear
haven't
from-
actually done what we're supposed to do, which is the never-ending story.
No, we are out of time now.
Yeah, time.
Let's
Next
hear
week.
Ita.
Yeah.
Ita just signed in all the way from Indonesia. Let's hear something from her.
Ita,
Tell us
please
the
unmute.
story of your
us.
life, your childhood, your adulthood, and your aspiration.
Just introduce yourself.
Hi, Mr. Ban Peng. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all today. I'm so sorry I was late because I just read Mr. Ban Peng message just now. So I would like to introduce myself. My name is Ida. I come from Jakarta, Indonesia, and my daily activity actually just a teacher for elementary, and I've been in Agora for a whole long time. Yeah, Mr. Ban Peng, it's
Yeah.
a few moments, last few moments ago, and I very enjoy with this community because this is our chance to know each other, and we can learn from each other. We can get our English to be improved. And I think that's all from me. Back to you, Mr. Banteng. Thank you.
I think Marutesh was
Who's
unmuted
Marutesh?
just now. Yeah. Yeah.
Marutesh,
Hi.
can you say something?
Hi everyone. I am Martesh. I'm working as a professor
From
in
where?
India.
In India.
Professor
Hmm.
in India. And I joined this meeting. This is the first time in this club, and I really liked every member's speech. And I wish to attend the upcoming meeting. Since I have shared my WhatsApp number, please share the details for the upcoming meeting.
Okay.
Yep. Those of you who want to be informed in the WhatsApp group, please leave your phone number behind so that we can contact you in the WhatsApp group, and everything is organized from there.
Can I say something of my
Sure.
observation of this
Yeah,
meeting?
Dunstan.
I think my own personal views is one of the best meetings I've ever attended. When I tell you I've attended a lot of meetings in the last 34 years, right? And the reason why I say that is because this is one meeting where everybody is engaged, involved. And rather than we just sit there as an audience, we all speak, we all spoke, right? And I love that. And I hope we can continue this, that even you speak for a short time or long time, but just say something. And also the way I can see, like, for example, Kim, who joined us, I can see that there is already change, in her style already. I mean, she become more engaging in her speech, and that's exactly what we want, I think. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. And we leave to Ban Peng to inform us on the next meeting,
Tomorrow I'll send you the link, no issue.
Okay. And do sign up, I think, so you can speak.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Wait, why not we take a group photo?
Group photo,
yeah.
of it?
Hold on, let me try to take a group
Then
photo.
there is another team. Is that you?
Why
That's my
feel
phantom taking notes.
everybody is very professional today.
No.
Everybody,
I just feel too small.
it's supposed to be a lot of improv,
You are small, you are
improvisation.
young.
I think maybe the next meeting we do the improv, because I prepared. I'll send to you guys the guideline which we used before, which is very, very good. Actually, it's an improv, right?
Yeah.
And this is a technique which the people who are in the theater school do, right? And you'll be surprised how easy it is and how enjoyable it is. I send it in WhatsApp anyway, so that you know what is it all about. Okay.
Can somebody take the photograph? My computer, I don't know
It's
why
done.
it doesn't work.
I was taking some photographs all the way from
okay. So you take one.
few participants to this many.
Okay.
Thank you all
Another one now?
for coming.
Take one for the
Oh, one more. Okay, one more.
Wait, are you taking now?
Taken.
Come on, I haven't done my
you
best
forgot to smile.
yet.
Okay, one more time. Okay, 0, 1, 2.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
I'll post
Good
it up
night,
in
you
the WhatsApp
guys.
group as soon as
Okay.
I
Thank you
enter.
What
very
time is it
much.
in South Africa?
Banpeng, I sent you a
What
message.
time
Have a
is it
look at
there?
it.
So will be next meeting on
6th
On the
of
6th February.
Same time.
I sent you a message in chat, Banpeng. Have a look at it.
Hey, hold on. I'm going to go and see. I miss it.
Private
Eta,
chat.
what time is it there?
Zoom private chat.
We have Indonesia, India, Singapore, Malaysia.
We're
and
supposed to have
South
one from
Africa.
Abu Dhabi, but I think
Middle East.
next
Oh,
meeting.
who's from Abu Dhabi? There's nobody.
No, she didn't turn up. She didn't turn up.
And South
She went to
Africa.
hospital last minute.
Okay. And what time is in South Africa?
It is now 4:31, 4:30
In the afternoon?
in the afternoon.
Okay.
6 hours behind us. Yeah, 6 hours behind
Cape
us.
Town, huh? Cape
Yeah.
Town, huh?
Yeah.
We love to see more of you, Heta.
I have a very good friend in Cape Town, in my classmates in law school. And he's of course a retired judge or something like that. I don't know. I mean, he's must be about 80 years old now. Man.
Where does he
Okay.
live in Cape Town? Does he live in Cape Town?
Yes.
Where?
I don't know. They asked me to visit because I'm not very sure, because I've never been to Africa, so I'm not very sure about it. Is it okay to visit?
Yeah. But
Huh?
it's okay if you go to the places where your friends are. I
Oh,
live
okay.
here 38 years. It's fine. I go anywhere I want. But
Oh,
you don't
you.
go into places where you shouldn't go.
Okay. So this is why I'm a
It's
bit
just
concerned.
normal, like everywhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell me, what is his address? Do you know his
Yeah, I'll
address?
find out soon. I'll find out soon. They were my good
Hmm?
friends from the 70s.
But
Anyway,
do
some
you
of
know his address where he lives?
yeah, I'll find out. I think one day I'm hoping one day we can have actually a physical conference, but not in Singapore because it's too damn expensive, isn't it? In Singapore.
Yeah, we can go to Sarawak.
Sarawak, we are building an airport, a new airport. So once our new airport is finished, then you have a direct flight to Sarawak, which is great. Because, I mean, Kuching is kind of a little village, you know, it's a little town and a big village, you know. So, and it's a very, very easy place to learn. That's why I retire here.
If you can find out his address, you know, the where he lives,
Yeah.
I will
Okay.
tell you what it's like there. I know everything in Cape Town.
All right. I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay. Good night, guys. Can
Good
we
night.
log off?
Good
All
night.
right.
Okay, good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I gotta wait
Bye-bye.
for all of you to log off.
How do I get
Okay.
out?
All of you are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I get
Elias,
out?
look at my chat that I sent one last comment to you.
How do I
Elias?
get out from here? Oh, here. The
Well,
bottom.
bottom
Oh,
right,
yeah.
just end or leave.
Yeah, I
Yes.
got it.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim. See you. Bye.
See you.
Yeah, I got the text. Thank you.